everybody, it's Paige Evans, and I'm so excited to be a part of this 'Tis the Season YouTube series organized by Audrey Yeager. Here is the layout that I will be sharing how I made. It is featuring a Christmas tree cut file that I designed for Silhouette. So that's the first thing I did, is I die cut this floral Christmas tree from textured white American Crafts cardstock, and then I carefully peeled it off the mat. I'm having some issues with my Silhouette lately and getting the settings right. So I did have to spend some extra time peeling out all of the little pieces, but once I did, it was good to go and jump ahead to that point. And then I'm going to spend some time backing all the elements with pattern papers. I'm using my Turn the Page collection with pink paisley, which isn't necessarily, in fact, it's not at all Christmas themed. It's kind of an everyday or fallish line. And however, there are traditional reds and greens in the collection, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna make this work. So I picked out my favorite colors and decided to go with it. So yes, there's traditional red and green, but there's also pinks and blues and yellows and all the colors that make my heart super happy. So here you can see I'm tracing just the basic gist of the shape and cutting out the image just slightly smaller, slightly inside those pencil lines, and then using liquid adhesive on the corresponding image, and then adding the pattern paper piece to the back. So on top of the glue, and spent a couple hours backing this entire Christmas tree, but I think the effort is well worth it. I love backing cut files. It's one of my favorite techniques, has been for years and years, and I just don't ever see it going out of style. So I'm gonna keep doing this until the cows come home. Is that the right expression? Anyway, here's a little bit of a progress shot. I'm almost done, and here is the last piece. So you can see it's a hot mess on the back, but once you flip it over, ta-da, it's beautiful. So then I'm going to back the entire Christmas tree with green pattern paper. It's important to do this last, once all of the flowers and leaves and berries have been backed with pattern paper, or else you'll just cover them all up. So back the entire tree last, using a traditional green, and going to cut it out. Traced it with the pencil, and now I'm cutting it out slightly inside the pencil lines once again. And then I will add, I'm actually going to use dimensional adhesive to attach the tree on top so that there's a little bit of shadows, a little bit of dimension. I always say that paper or scrapbooking is very flat, so adding those dimensions, or that dimension with pop dots and dimensional adhesive, is a fun thing to do. So I'm going to show you how I was going to use this background, but I decided not to. It was a little too busy, but yeah, I just want to show you that not everything goes according to plan, but it still works out in the end. So I thought about using this pattern paper. I don't know, just this paper just kind of reminds me of wrapping paper, and it's got the Christmas colors in it that I used on my tree. So I'm using the packaging technique and white acrylic paint, but the paint wasn't really sticking on the pattern paper very well, wasn't applying very well. So I decided to drop some paint, splatter some paint, and then I just went for it and painted the paint. And once that dried, well, while I was doing this, my cameo was cutting out a flourish Christmas tree, which is this part right here. So I had to very carefully peel this off. It's very delicate and didn't want it to rip, so I spent some time peeling it off the mat. Jump ahead, you don't have to me peel it off. And I love how that looks peeking out from underneath my tree. And here's the paper that I decided to go with for the background. It's a darker gray, maybe not very dark, but it's a gray with a subtle pattern on it. Also from Turn the Page, it's a B-side, and I love how the colors pop off this background, and decided to jazz up the background a little bit with some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, and then I'll come in with some white acrylic paint splatters. Kind of reminds me of falling snow, so it works. I'm just tapping my paintbrush, adding some water to that paint to help make it more liquidy and helps it drop better. And now I'm going to start figuring out the placement of things. So I have the flourished Christmas tree as the first layer, and then the backed pattern paper Christmas tree on top. I'm going to tuck my photo in between the layers right there at the bottom, and then I'm using Turn the Page and trying to find all the Christmassy things that I can. I love that red cardinal bird die cut. That's a very Christmas element or icon, right? Red cardinals. And then going with the bird theme, add a die cut bird, a chipboard bird, adding a chipboard star sticker on top. And then I went through the 2x2 phrases paper pad, and I love this saying. It says, I believe in good things coming. I believe in the good things coming. So it's, Christmas is almost the start of a new year, and Christmas morning is all, the presents. And so I thought that phrase went pretty well. So I fussy cut it out. I'm adding it to the left side and then embellishing further with more chipboard stickers here and there. So they're kind of like ornaments hanging from the tree. There's acorns, more stars, another bird. I'm loving this texture and color that all these elements are adding. For the title, it's going to say Christmas Day 2016. I'm using thickers from the Turn the Page collection. I'm placing them along the curve, the bottom of the tree in that slight curve, and then I don't show it on camera, but I do go over the title with my sewing machine to help them stay in place permanently. I'm going to use a white Sharpie pen to write my journaling on the top right side. I drew the lines first and then wrote my journaling, and then trimming off the excess. I did add the 2016 numbers on the right side, and that finishes this layout. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the pages made in this 'Tis the Season YouTube series put on by Audrey Yeager. I'll be sure to leave links. Thank you so much. See you again soon.